That's the one that does the thing we want. It is a trophy Igni, right? Is it you? No? What are you doing? The one we want is you, right? Yes, it's you. Okay, put this one on. But now we're going to lose several of the things from the other one now, right? Because you're... Igni, the one we use with you is this one, right? You're the one that matches that one. Okay, put this one back on now. And that's going to leave us without a Quen shield, yes? It's going to take the Quen shield off? Yes, okay. Activate that. Now we completely just cannot set fire. Yeah. Which is what I was saying when we walked over here. These are the ones you can't set fire to.
As soon as
they're glitched out. It's a vanilla bug in the vanilla game. For some reason it does not, even though they're there, we can see them there, it is not acknowledging that those are beehives. Which is an error in the spawn file. What do you call it? Not the spawn file. The behavior tree. Behavior tree. That is an error in the behavior tree. It indicates that when the game developers put those there on that tree, they didn't tag it with the correct behavior tree. So I would have to find where those are in the game and just add a behavior tree chunk to them, which is easy to fix. It's extremely easy to fix. What's not easy is finding them. Finding the location of these things, where they put them in the game, that's the part that's hard, because there's so many tens of thousands of files. They're not organized in any sort of order. They're just... The files inside the game, they look like they shoved all the files in a paintball gun and just shot them at everything, and where they landed, that's where they are so unorganized. So that makes Eruption a little bit harder to trigger, because we're using a different type of Igni now. The other Igni worked much better for triggering Eruption. But we have this nice special effect now that we didn't have minigun. Which I also like. That's why we use this one a lot, just because I like that visual effect that it does. This is mod, obviously. Igni doesn't do that normally. That's not what normally Igni should look like. Does T special effects? Yes, there's the other one. Yeah, this is my favorite Igni. Which is it? Gnosis? What is it? What is it? What do we use it? It's this one. Fire Gnosis. Tome of Fire Gnosis. It's the Tomes mod. Which they renamed it. It's not Tomes anymore. Magic spells for signs and swords, I think, is the new name of the mod. They changed the name of it because there was another mod. There was a mod called Spell Tomes. It's an older mod. It was made a few years ago.
For only I know how
And
to make the which I shall do on my terms.
we were using that one originally. That's the one we were using a long time ago. And it adds 5 new spells to the game. So it gives you 5 new books. So it changes the 5 basic spells of the game. And this other person was using that mod, and then they started wondering. They didn't know C++. They learned C++ specifically to make this mod, and when you open that mod, if you know C++, and you open that mod and you look at how they made it, it's pretty amazing. But they didn't know C++, and they were, cause you can, they're on the forums all the time on Nexus. You can talk to them on the forums, and they tell you this whole history. Here's how I made all this and all this stuff. And they're talking about how they wanted more spells, and they were trying to figure out.
Not good.
They were trying to figure out how to make it so you can have the 5 basic spells.
But at the same time, I felt I had to enter it.
Like that other mod had, but then rotate through them. Is there a way to continually stack more and more spells so that you can flip through them and have lots of spells? And they finally figured they'd go in C++ so they could do that, and they finally figured out how to do it. And when they originally put the mod out, it was compatible with the other mod made by the other mod maker, so you could use both of them at once. But then they kept expanding it, and today, from the last update, which was very recently, it was less than a month ago, it was just like maybe 2 weeks ago, they updated a couple of times a month. They are constantly working on this mod. And it's the same mod maker that made the mod that causes the swords to be invisible. He's carrying the swords. You can see he's carrying them here, and they show up on his back, but then they don't show up here. It's the same mod maker that made that mod. Anyways, it was originally called Tomes. And it was, I think, Tomes, the spiritual successor of Spell Tomes, is what the original name was. And the original mod maker who made the other mod complained, and so they had to go change the name. There was a dispute going on between the 2 mod makers with, I made this mod, and you copied my mod, and you're using the same name in a different... So they ended up changing the name, so it's not Tomes anymore, but I had already been using it for 2 years by the point that they changed the name of it, so I keep calling it Tomes. And it's not Tomes anymore. So if you go on Nexus and search for Tomes, you're going to find the original mod, which only has 5 spells in it, not the other mod made by a different mod creator that has 72 spells in it. I think it's, the new name is Magic Spells for Signs and Swords, I think is the name of it. You'll know it when you find it. It shows Geralt wearing the yellow mage robes from the Harkland mage on the image. And when you scroll through it, the pictures, you can see all the spells, all these spells that we keep doing, all these things. It shows you a picture of every single one of them, so you'll know it's the right mod when you get it, because they have an image of every single possible attack you can do. It's one of the biggest mods, script-wise, how big the script size is. It is a huge mod. It's compatible with Ghost mode for the amount of stuff it edits. Yeah. Get an eruption to trigger. With this, Igni's a little bit more difficult. The Igni that we just had from the other spell, we could pretty much trigger eruption every time, and this one takes a few hits before eruption triggers. It's the same mod that does this thing to the sword. Can you get me to... He isn't going to do it because he's not attacking somebody, right? Yeah, all these special effects that we have happening with this sword. I can't yet. Will not trigger. We need to be attacking something, apparently. Not Siri. Not Siri.
Anyone home?
How we have the flames and stuff on our sword now. That's also that same mod. And that thing, when we're doing whirl and it triggered, we triggered it a lot the other day. Doesn't always activate. Where it makes like this spinning tornado-y looking thing around you when whirl activates and it bursts into flames. You got this like weird fire tornado thing around you. Oh, did we have the ring itself on? It's different if you're carrying the ring versus holding it, wearing it. Is it trophy? Yeah. This one, sword ring. Take
Oh
that
yes. The elder blood.
I think we were wearing the ring as opposed to carrying the ring here. But there it is. Yeah. You have to be wearing the ring to activate it. And get whirl to trigger. No. There it goes. That. It changes whirl, and this is what it does to whirl. I've seen a lot of people they'll get the ability skills, they'll unlock the ability skills, but if you don't put it over here, you don't have it. See, nothing there. It ain't active. You must, after you buy it, put it over here. We're having issues. Yeah, and there you go. So I see a lot of people, they'll get Whirl. And then they'll go into fight and you're like, wow, is this different? And they haven't activated it. So nothing has changed. Nothing is different. Whirl, you actually start spinning. There it is. That is Whirl. If you are not spinning around in a top like that, it does that where it does this glowy thing around the edge. It makes you have like this round circle around you, and you are spinning around in a circle. That is Whirl. And I see so many people buy Whirl, not activate it, and then continue their normal attacks like that, and they're like, oh wow, is this so great? And I'm like,
I could stay right here
Yeah,
forever.
you have no clue what Whirl is because you haven't activated it and it's not doing anything different. But they're so convinced it's doing something different, and it's hysterical. I've seen people get through the entire game without ever activating any of their abilities. They but keep buying them and buying them and buying. They never activate them.
They'll take no regret.
I don't know how people do that. It's one of the most common errors that you see people make when they're playing the game. Which surprises me because you can't even open that page without this massive amount of tutorial that you have to click through and click through and click through and click through, and it takes like 20 minutes to click through it. It's a huge tutorial. And it goes to this very specific, now click here and drag, now click here and drag, this activates it, here's how you buy it, here's how you activate it. Most people, they get to that, they go click, 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 so fast that they go through the whole thing in like 10 seconds, don't see any of it, and then they continue on. And then they wonder, why didn't the game ever tell me how to activate this? It did. You clicked through the tutorial so fast, you never saw a word. Oh, that's so bizarre.
Damn.
It's one of the most common things you see people do, though. They will get Whirl, and they'll run around, continue doing their attack, and they'll be, this is great. Look how good Whirl is, and they're not doing Whirl, and they've no clue they're not doing Whirl. Because they don't know what it looks like. There's no clue what Whirl is. This is Whirl. It has a specific animation and everything. It is extremely different. When you trigger Whirl, you are gonna know you have triggered Whirl. This is it right here. This is what it looks like in the vanilla game right now. Now that the fire has gone off. That mod adds the fire effect to it.
We were discussing questions of a magic nature. Nothing of great interest.
Rend, the same thing. Rend, not only do you have to go into here and trigger it through this Rend right there. Then you have to go into options and turn it on in key bindings, because by default strong attack is off. So if you haven't gone into your options and turned it on through your keyboard here, you're never using strong attack, you're never using Rend at all, ever. You must turn it on in the options. It is not on automatically. It's the other one you see people trying to do strong attack, and they're like, wow, is this great? And I'm like, this is strong attack. Strong attack has a full 10-second delay and a specific animation. So if you are not triggering this animation, You are not doing strong attack. Strong attack hits for an insane amount of points, but this long delay at the start of it, you have a really high chance to die. You gotta make sure you are using that to an advantage. We just accidentally killed our Lesh. This one. That one back. There we go. You don't need to have sword ring on all the time. That guy asked me once, because he knew I was in his chat frequently. And he asked if I was there, and then he wanted to know. He was asking about Whirl Rend, because he had both of them, and it didn't seem to be doing anything. I told him about the Rend has to be turned on in your options page because it's off by default in the game. Even if you buy the ability and put it in your skill tree, it's still off if you didn't go into options and turn it on in key bindings. And he wanted to know. He said, it can't be that way. And he went and looked. He says, wow. Well, this time I thought I was doing strong attack and it was turned off. I didn't know it. So he went and turned it on. He said, wow, is this different? And yeah, it's different when you actually have it turned on. And then he said, I've been playing the game like this all this time. Why did you never tell me? It's like, I never tell anybody how to play the game. I don't like it when people do that. If you ask for help, if you specifically ask your chat to help you, and I know the answer to your problem, I'll answer. But otherwise, you're on your own. I don't tell you what to do. I just say you figure it out on your own. And not a lot of people who are in chat do that. So it seems to surprise streamers when they find somebody who does, but I don't know. I don't like telling people how to play the game. I don't like it when people in chat are telling the streamer how to play the game. Just let the streamer do what they want. Nothing annoys me more. Watching Witcher streams. Then when you get to the quest, wine boys. Envoys and wine boys. Wine boys and envoys. And the streamer's like, oh, here's a new quest. I start doing it. And chat goes insane. Chat goes crazy. They're all, that's a DLC! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it!
It's just that.
Okay.
What if I disappear again tomorrow?
The game
Good this
tells you
time,
to
like my
do a
mother did.
quest when you are supposed to do it. You're supposed to do that quest when it tells you there. People who have done the DLCs when the game tells them to do the quest know what changes. It's a big change. It's a really big change. There is a primary main character in the game who is always going to die in the vanilla base game unless you play the DLC quests when the DLC tells you to. You can keep him alive. And you saw us do it in the first Avallac'h playthrough. I've had so many people ask, how do you do that? We did it in the first Avallac'h playthrough. There he is! He's still alive! Battle Cameron's done. There he is! He didn't die. Oh, wow. Wow. It dramatically changes the game if you do the DLCs when the game tells you to do them. You're just like, okay, I'm not going to do the DLC. Well, when you do the DLC quests after you play the game, there's going to come a point where a character walks up to you and says, I'm Vesemir's girlfriend. Can you give him a message? And you have to tell her, oh no, he died. But if you did the DLCs when the game told you to do that quest, you get to say, yeah, I'm getting ready to go to Kaer Morhen right now. I'll tell him. And it does change the Battle of Kaer Morhen. People who've done the quests as the game tells you to do them have gotten that ending and have seen, oh my God, we're at the end of the game and here's Vesemir. But no, listen to your idiotic chat who knows how to play the game because they did it wrong themselves and they're going to tell you how to do it wrong as well. That's why I said, don't listen to chat. I can't stand it when chat goes, oh, well, this is the way I did it, so this is the way you must do it. But let them do it their own way. There are 42 endings in this game. This game has 42 different endings. Okay? Just because you did it this way and you got one ending, let the streamer play it the way they want to because there are 42 different endings in this game. If you tell people, play it this way because this is how I played it, they're going to get the exact same ending you got, and you're not letting them play the game blind. You're not letting them get a different ending, and you're never going to know that, oh my God, there were 42 endings in this game. Well, every time I played it, I always got the same one. I wonder why. %83% of people who play this game get the exact same ending. Largely because most people are like, well, my chat's all telling me I should pick this. Well, you're going to get the exact same ending everybody in your chat got. Every single quest in this game, the 42 endings, that's the ending of the game. Every quest in this game has at minimum 2 endings. Most of them have 8 endings. There are over 400 different quest endings in this game. And when you play this game and you watch other people play this game, you see the same quest endings over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You rarely see anybody deviate and get any of the other endings for any of the quests. So a lot of people are of the assumption, oh, no matter what you do, you always get this end. No matter what you do, you always get this quest. No matter what you do, you always get this end. No matter what you do, you're always going to end here. The game has 42 endings. Each quest has minimum 2 endings. Most have up to 8 endings. If you're seeing the same stuff over and over and over again, every playthrough, every stream, pay attention to the chat and you'll see why. This game gets hit with it worse than most other games. Hundreds of people will show up in the chat and they're like, take this quest, choose that number, do this number. They don't let the streamer pick themselves. And because these are all the same several hundred people who are in every single stream for this game, every streamer ends up picking the same quest choices and gets the same quest ending. There are 135 quests in the main story, in the base game. 135 quests. That doesn't include the side quests, treasure hunts, all the other stuff. The base story, the main game, the primary story where you're chasing after Ciri. There are 135 quests just in that. Almost everybody who plays this game on stream gets the exact same quest results for all 135 quests because they have the exact same people in every single stream, all the same viewers, and they're always telling the streamer, pick that one. That's the one I did. You should pick it too. It is extremely rare to see anybody not do what chat tells them to do. So it is very rare to see any of the less common endings for the quests, and it is very rare to see the less common ends for the game. That's why when people want to know, why didn't you tell me? I would rather you made your own choices and played the game the way that you're playing the game. It's boring to see 1,000,001 streamers get the exact same quest ending every time, simply because the exact same viewers go from streamer to streamer to streamer to streamer and tell you the same choices to make every time. People don't realize how big this game is, how many endings there are, how many quest endings there are for each quest. And that's largely the fault of viewers who go psychotic whenever a quest comes up and they're like, oh, you gotta pick that one, you gotta pick that one, you gotta pick that one, and the streamer feels pressured to pick that one, even though they would have picked something else, but, you know. And did you hear everybody like, oh, well, there's not enough options in this quest. The game gets boring because it's always the same. Well, yeah, it's always the same if you always have the same viewers in every single chat telling the streamer to make the same choices every single time. Most games, you only have a good or a bad ending to a quest. So most games you got no deviation. The story is always going to be the same. There aren't many games where you have huge amounts of quest options that result in huge amounts of changes. I was talking about once a while back, it was well over a year ago because I still had chat on at the time, the fact that if you make a wrong choice in one of the quests, an entire village is going to die. And several people in my chat were like, oh, I did that, that's the Baron's quest. No, it isn't. That's not the one I was talking about. The quest you do with Triss Merigold. If you rescue the mages, you get the bad ending. Everybody always rescues the mages, so nobody ever sees the good ending. And because most people rush through the Ilmarith quest and go right into Through Time and Space, They miss seeing what happened. When you and Ciri walk across the bridge, if you have helped Triss Merigold rescue the mages, it triggers a cutscene, and it tells you all the elves, all the dwarves, all the gnomes, all the halflings are dead. And it does mean all. All of them in the game are now dead. All of them. Pay attention. The cutscene continues, and you're now talking to Dandelion. And the next thing it's going to tell you to do, talk to Avallac'h. Don't talk to Avallac'h. Turn around, walk back outside, go back across that bitch. Go all around the city. Here. This whole section right here. Just walk through here. The houses are gone. They're burnt to the ground. There's bodies laying everywhere. This place over here where they're building boats, go there. The boats are gone. There's this massive pile of bodies. There are 7 dwarves being whipped by guards who are piling more bodies into there. And it spreads all the way over to here, all the way over to here. It's the largest Holocaust in the game. And you can find more than 300 dead bodies going into houses. They're all dead. Entire families. They're laying there dead. People who, before you do the Triss Merigold quest, you can go in and talk to every one of those people. Almost everybody in this area has some type of a dialogue option where you can walk in and click on them. They'll say something to you. Some of them have quests that can only be triggered if you walk into their house. There's several of them. When you walk into their house, they'll ask you to do something. They're hidden quests. If you help Triss Merigold rescue 31 mages, you will then see more than 300 people here die. And then people are wondering, why is Avallac'h locked himself in a room right here? Ilihal and Avallac'h are the only 2 who survive. They're the only 2 still alive after that happens. Because everybody has to go, oh, Triss, look, boobs, tits, and ass. And rescue the mages, they always get the bad ending. And people never know that rescuing the mages is always going to trigger the bad ending.
2 others remain.
If you don't rescue the mages, you get the good end for that quest, which is really rare. You never see anybody get the good end for the Triss Merigold quest. They always get the bad end because everybody, boobs, tits, and ass. Must chase boobs, tits, and ass and do everything boobs, tits, and ass tells me. Can't think for myself. Oh no, can't think. Boobs, tits, and ass. Gotta do what boobs, tits, and ass are telling me. There's tits there. I gotta obey them. So you get the bad ending. Take your face out of Triss's boobs for a few minutes, because and in the novel she doesn't have boobs. Also, they're cut off. That's something that people get to Triss Merigold, and then I was like, wait, her breast got cut off? But boobs, tits, and ass in the game! They don't exist in the novels, do they? Characters are quite different in the novels. The game is made that way. If there's a pair of boobs there telling you to do something, do the opposite. Because doing what the boobs are telling you to do, it's always going to lead to the bad end, whatever that quest is. Always. They made the game that way because they know men can't think for themselves once a pair of tits is bouncing around in front of them. To see, hey, are men actually going to think, or are they going to chase this woman and always get the bad end, whatever that quest is? And Triss Merigold's quest is definitely got the biggest bad end in the game, but very few people realize how big that bad end actually is, because most people just run off and talk to Avallac'h, and they're like, why is he locked in this room? And they don't think to listen to what they were just told. Avallac'h in the novels, he is scared out of his mind of absolutely everything. He is paranoid on so many levels of paranoid. So yeah, all the elves around him are being massacred, and you're wondering, why is he locked in this room? Oh, I don't know. Number one, he's a mage. Number two, he's an elf, and all the mages and elves are dying all around him, and he's the only one that survives this event. Because he's locked in that room, so they don't find him. And Dandelion literally tells you that. If you listen to what Dandelion is telling you, he tells you that. But nobody hears it. And nobody ever thinks to turn around and go and look. Wait, they just told us they killed all the elves, they killed all the dwarves, they killed all the halflings, they killed all the gnomes. Did they actually kill all the elves, gnomes, halflings, and dwarves in the game? Yeah, they did. They're all dead. Characters that you used to be able to talk to, they're all dead. But hey, Triss has got tits, so who cares? That's it. It annoys me that viewers don't let streamers make their own choices, and it annoys me that 90% of the streamers are too big of pussies to just do their own thing. Your viewers, your chat, they aren't God. They're not. You don't have to lay down and let them walk over you. You really don't. We're almost out of travel companions. Oh, you are a werewolf. Is it just Siri and the dog left? Where is the dog? I hear him.
Nearby. Listen.
Who we got left? We still got Centipede. We got 2 rabbits left. Oh, we're down to 2 rabbits. Okay. We got Siri, dog, a centipede, and 2 rabbits. Yep, there's our 2 rabbits. Got 2 rabbits left. Oh. We're in need of travel companions. Travel companions are dead. When did these spider and... I saw one Endragood die, but I didn't see the spider and barkass die. We accidentally killed one of our Leshens. I think a race killed the other Leshen. I think Triss Merigold's quest annoys me more than most quests because I'm size 38 triple D. I've spent most of my life having to live with the fact that all men ever see are, oh my god, breasts. Can I kick you in the teeth? I can't stand it. Every time you see anybody get to Triss Marigold quest, that's always they'll start there. Oh my god, look how big Triss Marigold's breasts are. No. Really? That's how you're gonna base what choices you make in this quest? It annoys me. I can't stand it. That just did. I can't stand that the bulk of men can't see beyond boobs and tits and ass. Boy, do you hear that a lot on Twitch. They're the bulk of streamers. That's all they talk about. It gets so annoying. It's like, can't you see that that's a person? Nope. Sexual objectification. That's it. That's the word. I can't stand that. That's what I can't stand. I think that's why I don't like the changes the game made to Ciri too, because they took someone who is described in the novels as obese, slothful, gluttonous, overweight, chubby, roly-poly, flat-chested, looked like a boy, had no face, her face had been cut off.
Interesting.
Oh.
Perhaps a bit of context.
She looks like she's starving to
Noticed.
death.
A
And
Barbie
she's
doll
as top-heavy as a Barbie doll.
Vendigo, or,
She's got a face. If that is what the game developers could consider to be obese, chubby, roly-poly, I'd hate to see what they think skinny is. It's one of those things that you don't see many fat girls who are main characters in anything. A fat girl as a hero? That is so damn rare. And Andrzej Sapkowski did that. He took this character, made her very realistic.
Brilliant deduction. Bravo. Shit.
He made her a character who real girls could say, oh my god, she kind of looks like me. And then the game developers went, well, we got to market this for men, and so we can't have a fat girl like she was in the novels. Yeah. We got to make her look like this in the game instead. And I'm like, really? I would have liked Ciri better if she had been fat in the game the same way she was in the novels. And it's not the fact that she's skinny that bothers me, it's the fact that she wasn't a character who was created to be skinny. She was fat, and they changed her to make her more marketable because they didn't think a fat girl was marketable. That's the part that bothers me.
Using things similar to megascopes.
If she'd been skinny in the novels, it wouldn't have been an issue, but it as clear that most of the changes the game made from the novels was to market to American audience and make the game be something that more people would buy because, oh, let's stick boobs everywhere. No, so many people hate it when we get to the sex quests and they're like, oh, boobs and tits, and they're like, what'd you do? There's no nudity in my game. I removed all the nudity. I did that before my first blind playthrough. We did start my first blind playthrough with mods. I was aware that there was nudity in the game, and I made sure we had mods on here that removed the nudity before we even started. So I was within the first 10 minutes of my first stream of this game when my chat went insane, because you get that scene where Geralt's in the bathtub and Yennefer's sitting there naked, and Yennefer's in a bikini. The chat went nuts because they're like, there's supposed to be boobs there! Why is she wearing a bikini? I removed nudity from the game. Of course, over the course of time, we found out that mod doesn't remove all nudity. So, I then made a mod that removed nudity. I don't know how you're not dead right now because that exploded right beside you. Except, eruption activated? Apparently it activated just enough before that exploded?
I beg to differ. Emir is a pragmatist.
We don't survive Akasfor attacks very often. That's the second Akasfor attack today we survived. We have loot quite spread out. I think these are the only 3 over here, right? There's a bunch over there. Is there some over there too? Or is that the campfire light? I see it. I think it's campfire light.
I remember. But I also remember what you advised Eredin do with me once I was caught. And I remember what the Red Riders did at Kaer Morhen.
You one of those ones that's gonna get up in a minute. Since the others vanished and you didn't. Well, we need a drink. Wait a minute. Need a drink. Well, nothing's attacking yet. He's gonna need to meditate soon, too. He's getting fatigued. There is loot over there. Okay, we'll have to head that way in a minute then.
Avallac'h, he prepared some special ointments for me.
Yeah, the game even tells you that. Geralt's surprised. He sees Ciri for the first time. Oh my god, you've got a face! How'd your face grow back? Avallac'h prepared some ointments for me. I have a face now. Hey, look, I got a face. And then later she's like, why is he drawing pictures of me without the scar? That's not me. I have a scar. You just got done telling us that these teammates' ointments that can grow your face back. Oh, that's hysterical. It's so obvious that two different game developers wrote the dialogue for those quests because they contradict each other so bad. It's not like it's a where you pick a choice and you get something different. She always says that no matter what choice you make, those two particular lines is something that Siri always says every single time, regardless. At least the game tells us why she has a face now, you know, after her face got cut off in the novels. Of course. The way Avallac'h grew things back in the novels, I would question what the hell is in the ointment. I was a mad scientist.
And he'll kill any who stand in his way.
That is why those bandits don't stay dead, right? Because that's where you're going. Where'd you go? Oh, yeah, I see him. He is standing up. Yeah. I thought it looked like it. They usually explode, and then their body parts disappear. And that one wasn't exploded, and he was just laying there. Boy, if we got so much loot. Obviously, we're at the midnight attack that we always have every time we get to midnight in the game. We're close to the end of it. It's almost 3 a.m. now. Rabbits. That is there, yeah. Centipede, rabbits, dog, Siri. Okay. We haven't had kills with us in a while, have we? There is absolutely no lore-friendly reason for us to have kills with us. Wish he didn't die so fast. We'd have him with us more often if he just stay alive. Siri and the dog used to die all the time, just like all the other travel companions. And I changed it. I added a code that gave them, was it 10,000 or 100,000? Can't remember what number I put in it now. Added a code that gave them our extremely high vitality base. And then I think it's like an 80% vitality regeneration. It was a really high. They were both really high. So they're not immortal. They can still die. But their chances of dying are really low. You do still see Siri and the dog die every once in a while, but it's rare now. And we did the same thing to Gels. That same code. We just copied it, pasted it. We put it in Siri, we put it in the dog. We put it in the Panthers. That's why the Panthers don't die that often. Then the Panthers in the game, when they attacked us, we couldn't kill them. So I put it lower in the Panthers. So the Panthers die more often than Siri and the dog, but still less often than other travel companions. But we put it in Gil's too. Gil's, no, didn't do a damn thing to Gil's. No, wasn't. I can't figure out why. And we went through his behavior tree. We checked everything in his behavior tree. I can't find any reason why it doesn't work on him when it works on the others. Yeah, we got Gales with us again.
No rovir.
For no reason at all. We just drag girls around with us because we like girls. Can we get all of the loot in this area now? Yes. Yes. Looks like it. Got most of it anyways. Just bandits won't stay dead, right? I think there's 3 of them over there. You're not gonna let us pick up this loot while those bandits are over there.
You won't get the chance later. I shall await you by the boats.
Doesn't hard to fix. It's just haven't done it. That's the random. That's a glitch in the random encounters mod causing that. It shouldn't be spawning in characters that can't be killed, and it is. So I just have to figure out which files those are and take them out of random encounters mod, so it doesn't spawn them in anymore. We did go in and find some of them and take some of them out already. Where's our horse? We left our horse around here somewhere. I didn't see him. Are you even still around here? You're way back there? Okay. I guess we're going way back there then.
Above all, beware the witches of Crookback Bog.
We left the horse over there, did we? Yeah, the horse runs away. Every time there's an attack, the horse runs. And then there's another attack, and the horse runs again. And it gets further and further away from us. But it's quite a lot of distance. I thought we left it right here, right outside of this village. But I guess, yeah, it ain't that far for it to run, is it? Gil's being traumatized. You should be seeing our horse soon. Where it showed on the map that our horse was right near here, wasn't it? You guys are bandits, don't stay dead. And we did start walking near this thing, though, because I remember going down there to see if that was relooted. Because I can't figure out how to get the whale bones to reloot. You can loot the whale bones. The respawn code isn't working on them for some reason. So I keep adding it and then we...
Greetings.
Hey, there's our horse. Why, you're way down there?
It's true. The swallow has befriended the fox.
Guess we're gonna go way down there. I don't understand that line from Gale's Center. Siri does in the novels say Avallac'h is her best friend, her only true friend, the only real friend she ever had. So why is Gale shocked in the game that, oh, you two are friends? Yeah, what? They were. Why are you shocked they still are? What else? What?
I do, in fact. For only I know how to activate the Sunstone, which I shall do on my terms or not at all.
That guy thinks it's great that he's got Avallac'h in his game now because, I don't know why. He just thinks it's great that he's got Avallac'h in his game. He hasn't gotten to Gales yet. Most people, once they get to Gales, they're like, oh my god, I hate Avallac'h. That is Gale's only reason for being in the game. There to tell you, look what he did! Yeah. Siri thought it was great. That's the funny thing, is people who haven't read the novels and they get to that scene in the game and they're like, oh my god, what the hell did he do to her? Read the novels and be, oh my god, what the hell is Siri doing? Yeah, Avallac'h's kind of crazy. He's clearly crazy when you realize what he was doing. But then you have Siri's reaction and it's like, Siri, why are you not running away? Siri was only 12 years old in that scene where she's never seen Avallac'h before. She has no clue who he is, and he's all of a sudden, first words out of his mouth, you have ripe ovaries, you're gonna give me a baby. That guy over there is gonna have sex with you. Siri's response, oh boy, I get to have sex with y'all, the king? Okay. Alright. Siri's fine with that, I guess. Gales makes out that Siri was not in agreement with what was happening. You hear what Gales says about it. That's not the way it was in the novel. Siri couldn't wait to run off and go have sex with every elf she could find. Couldn't Avallac'h, who didn't want to have sex with her. Siri's sex crazy. Which, has Andrzej Sapkowski ever known a 12-year-old? That's not... In real life, 12-year-olds who act like that get put in places like the Sweetser home. Because that's not normal. Extremely not normal. What's with the Netflix series? It's gonna take 3 years between each season. And each season is only going to be 10 episodes each season. Do you know how old the actor for Ciri's gonna be by the time she gets to the sex scenes that Ciri, who is supposed to be 12 years old in, gets to? Just, they've already got an adult playing her, which is, why is an adult playing a 7-year-old? The stuff that they've done for the Netflix series, it's already been done. Ciri's supposed to be 7 years old there. Alright, how old is the actor? What, 30? Playing this kid. They've got an older woman playing this 70-year-old, and I'm like... Or she looks maybe 25 at best. Or if they're going to have an older actor play a 7-year-old, couldn't they at least get one that could pass for a 7-year-old? And then the next season isn't coming out for another 2 years. And there's going to be 8 seasons? That's the one we just tried to pick up. Okay. Good, remember we can't pick that up. Also, I found that file and I fixed it. And you still dropped more, meaning there's another one. I think we figured out there was going to be like 4 or 5 of them, right? I think I only found one of them. Gotta remember to look for more of this. Takes forever to build this loot mod. I can definitely see why people who try to build a loot mod
tried to force you to warm our king's bed.
There it is. Yeah, that. I don't understand the logic of that. Why have... Don't you remember what he did? Like, implying that she wasn't in agreement with it. I mean, she was practically pushing Avallac'h away to run over and jump in bed with the king. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of forcing going on there. Wow. Okay. Gil certainly has a unique interpretation on the events. Did he not see Ciri trampling everybody to get to King's bed? It's one of those things where I'm like, why did they? There's no reason for Gils to say that, other than to make anybody who has never read the novels hate Avallac'h. That's it. There's no other reasoning for Gils in the game to say that. And when you read the scene in the novels, there's more reason to hate Ciri than Avallac'h. Definitely.
We need Fringilla in one
Way
piece.
more. She is a sex-crazed whore on so many levels of slutdom. Wow, Ciri crazy. Definitely somebody you want to shoot and push off a cliff, because she is just so sex-crazy out of her mind. Kind of hard to look at Avallac'h and say, yeah, he's evil, because Ciri's the one that went sex crazy on wild levels. What the hell is wrong with her? us. Is there anybody in the novels who isn't sex crazy? You got Carol. Geralt's questionable. I didn't realize how bad he was until I read the novels. I had heard people say when they read the novels that you need to watch out. Geralt's a dick. I was like, well, he's kind of a dick in the game. But, no. Geralt in the game is a sweetheart compared to Geralt in the novels. That trailer that tells you that world doesn't need a hero, it needs a professional. There's nothing even remotely close to being a hero in Geralt on any level at all in the novels. Definitely made sure of that. Boy, did they make sure of that. And one of the few things that I actually liked about Geralt in the game was the daddy-daughter relationship with Ciri, which is totally non-existent in the novels. It's not there. That I wasn't expecting. I hadn't heard anybody mention that before. Whiny, annoying cunt bitch. That is how Geralt refers to Ciri in the novels. And when she gets kidnapped by Leo, of all people, does he go to find her?
Where are my clothes?
No. He finds his favorite drinking buddies, goes to the local brothel, gets as drunk as possible, fucks as many whores as possible to celebrate. That whiny, annoying cunt bitch is finally out of my life. Okay. When people said Geralt in the novels is a dick, now I understand it. Yep. That's, wow. I didn't realize the daddy-daughter relationship was pure fan fiction created by the game developers and had no basis at all in the novels. Or how opposite a daddy-daughter relationship it was. Which kind of left me with no reason to like Geralt. I like Geralt in the game. I don't like Geralt in the novels. I mean, there's no reason in the game to not like Geralt. Not that, I mean. In the novels, it's hard to get through a full sentence without finding a reason to be, oh my god. Boy, is Geralt a dick. He, very self-centered and doesn't care about anybody else.
I see I've touched a tender spot. So let's change the subject.
He reminds me of those guys you see in movies who are like the jerk best friend. There goes gals. You like 80s movies always had to have this weird stereotype formula where you always had the hero, you always had the gay friend, you always had the girl who was a friend, you always had the black friend, you always had the fat friend. Every movie. And they never had names. They like Goonies. What's the name of the fat kid? Chunk. Who knows what his name is?
You've gone
Chunk
through a
is what
great
they
deal
call
of
him
trouble
because
to reach
he's
me.
chunky and he likes eating chunk bars. It tells you that. Geralt in the novels is like the stereotypical jerk, bully that you saw in all the 80s movies. Where you have the hero and his stereotypical group of friends, and they meet the jackass dick bully who is that's his stereotype. He has no personality, he's just
Dead.
jackass dick bully.
But at the same time, I felt I had to enter it.
That's why Geralt is in the novels. He has no personality. He's just jackass dick bully. No emotions either. None. He's more like a robot than Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. It makes it difficult when you read the Witcher novels. It's really difficult to identify with Geralt because he has no emotions, which they tell you that in the game, but you don't see it in the game. In the game, they tell you Witchers have no emotions. Geralt has no emotions, but you don't see that. You see him caring about Ciri. You see him getting worried about Triss and Yennefer. You do see that in the game. Not in the novels. In the novels, he is emotionless, just like we're told. He has no emotions. It makes him a character you can't identify with. Because real people have emotions. Why are you running away? Alright, we're gonna go over here and pick flowers down. We're getting on the horse, but horse ran away.
Avallac'h's a good tutor.
Yes, Avallac'h's a good tutor. Another, like Gell's lines. Where did the game developers conclude that Avallac'h was a good tutor? He rode around the lake on his horse. He played the flute while fishing off his boat and writing poetry. And he taught Ciri all the best methods of masturbation. While telling her to go to have sex with the king. The game tells us, oh, no, he taught her magic and all the history of the elves. No, he didn't. He does know what he was doing in the novel. Which is, again, why you have Gell saying, do you remember what he did? And Ciri says, oh, yeah, I remember what he did. The question was, she was totally fine with what he was doing. Which, again, I don't know why. Ciri is unrelatable, and things like that is what makes Ciri unrelatable as well. That's not a normal reaction. Random stranger you have never seen before. No clue who he is. Just out of the blue walks up to you and tells you, you got ripe ovaries, it's time for you to have a baby. Let's teach you how to masturbate for the king over here. And you're like, oh boy, this is great. Let me run off with this stranger who literally hands her pink cotton candy. Laced with fistic. Oh boy, let me eat this drugged candy and then we'll help you masturbate for the king. Uh-huh. How many people in real life are going to... That is not a real... Ciri doesn't have realistic reactions to things. Ciri and Geralt both have that trouble. That's why I said Andrzej Sapkowski, he was good with the background characters, the side characters, the minor characters. But his two main characters, Geralt and Ciri, it was like because they had to be front and center for so much time, it was like he didn't bother to flesh them out. When you're reading it, it feels like he's like, yeah, I don't need to give them much of a backstory. I don't need to give them much of anything because they're on the front and center of every single page all the way through it. Whereas the background characters, oh, you're only going to be here for one page. I better make sure your entire history is here. So you got 5,000 background characters who are so well fleshed out, and you can identify with every one of them. And the two main characters are just cardboard, cookie cutter, unrelatable. That's a flaw in Andrzej Sapkowski's writing. Or he's a really good writer. And he's really good at creating characters. He is so insanely good at creating characters. But it's like he spent so much time creating so many background characters. Most of the background characters appear only on 1 or 2 pages at most. You get this whole big background story that goes on for 4 or 5 paragraphs, and then the character says one thing and you never see him again. He needed to do that with Ciri and Geralt. He needed to flesh them out more. And they're there doing stuff, the whole thing, because they're the main characters. And emotionally, neither one of them are fleshed out good. That's a common problem a lot of authors have too. You see it in a lot of novels, where they get hung up on creating all these background characters, and they spend so much time with the background characters. And all the background characters have really good backstories, and you as a reader can identify with these characters. But then they're only on the page for a few minutes, and then they're gone. You never see them again. And the main character just trundles along, and you're like, yeah, this guy's boring. When are they going to meet somebody else? And the background characters are interesting. Main character's boring. It happens with a lot of novels. It's an extremely common flaw that a lot of authors have. I was an editor for 2 different fictional literary magazines that published fiction, short stories. I did that for 16 years, and so I've read a lot of manuscripts over that time period. And I got to see a lot of where you could see trends that authors fall into. Like ruts, where the author gets stuck in this style of writing and they can't break out of it. But it's widespread across a lot of authors fall into it. That was one of them. Going overboard, fleshing out 1,000,001 background characters and not spending enough time fleshing out your main character. That is just such a common problem. Man, I'll go to